Why should you open an Etsy store? Deciding on your why is the most important first step in opening an Etsy shop. It helps you decide so many factors. If it's worth it, who your target audience might be, and even a start on how you're going to think about pricing. It should be your very first step before you think about selling on Etsy. So let's think about these potential reasons. Why is it that you want to open an Etsy shop? To free up space in your over-cluttered craft room so you can create more. To make a little extra money. To build up to a part-time or full-time future business. Or to make a living right now. So let's talk about all these steps, starting at the last one. To make a living right now. If your goal is to open a shop because you desperately need the money immediately, don't. If money is urgent right now, starting an Etsy shop is not the best idea. Unless you are a marketing, photographic, SEO expert, unless you have a massive following on social media, tens of thousands of people following you on social media, unless you have a massive mailing list and a huge back catalogue of past customers. And if you have all of these things, then you don't need to be here listening to me. You know what you're doing. Get started. But for most people, opening an Etsy store is a huge learning curve, and it can take a while to build up to sales, and even longer to build up to regular sales. Remember, only around the top 3% of sellers on Etsy make a living wage, and while it is possible to get up to that level, it's going to take a bit of trial and error. It's going to take a bit of time. So if you desperately need an income right now, Etsy is perhaps not the place you want to look at. Get yourself a steady, regular, reliable job. And perhaps look at opening your shop on the side so you can build that up over time. But don't chuck all your eggs in the Etsy basket. The chance of you being that fraction of a percent of a shop that does amazingly well right out of the gate is far too small for you to gamble on. So if you're looking to build up your Etsy shop as a potential future business, this is when we want to think about finances. Sit down and calculate how much money do you really need to have Etsy as either a profitable side gig or something you can retire to. I actually have videos on how to check your finances there. Check them out in the card up above. And you also want to think about how many hours are you willing to put into your Etsy store each day, each week. And what kind of things can you make? What are you good at? Now, you want to research how long it takes you to create an item, and then double that time because you've got to include all the time for marketing and photography. Check online and see if there's a market for this. Are there successful sellers? And look at the top and average prices that these items sell for. And then consider, can you add more value to the items, say with an extra skill or more luxury materials? For example, knitting. Now, many people knit, but to have that as a business, what people pay for knitwear doesn't often cover the time it takes to create the item. It's not a great hourly rate. However, if you move to having more luxury materials or funky eye-catching designs, then you have a chance for a higher markup for your items and a better chance of getting a good hourly wage. If you decide on items that can be mass produced, then you can also be undercut. If you're needing this to make a living, there are going to be people who don't need to make an hourly wage, who are just doing this for their own enjoyment. So if you make what somebody else can make, you're in danger of being undercut. So if you want to be really successful in the future on Etsy, you want to think of items that you can make, that you can be proud of, that stand out from the crowd, that can't just be copied by anyone else wanting to make a quick buck. If you have extra time and you just want to make a little extra, then the pressure's off a little bit. You still want some fair money for your time, but you don't necessarily need a living wage. So what things are low stress that you enjoy creating? And if your motivation for opening an Etsy shop is you just want to clear up space, then congratulations, you have a passion without the pressure to make money. Not many people are that fortunate. Even so, it's still important to do a small amount of research, find out the average prices for items, because you don't want to seem too cheap or too dear. You still want to be able to sell what you're making. It's still going to be just as important moving forward to find your target audience, to do some decent SEO, because just opening a shop, items aren't just going to sell without putting the work in. A randomly stuffed shop is very unlikely to sell anything. If you're not up for doing all that other extra work, then again, perhaps Etsy isn't for you. You could give away your items for family and friends, or sell them at jumble sales and craft sales. No matter what your reason for opening the Etsy shop, Etsy is not easy. You are up against hundreds of thousands of people. To stand out in that, you have to learn some extra little tips and tricks, and it is work. This video is the start of a series on how to grow an Etsy shop. It's one of the most common questions I am asked all the time, and I've been reluctant to make these series because it's been 11 years since I started my shop, so I don't even know how to set up a shop. So for this series of videos, I decided instead of giving random advice based on best practices, I would put my money where my mouth is. I will show you. I am going to open another shop. So in these videos, I'm going to take you step by step what I'm doing as well. I'm going to give you the general advice for everybody opening a shop, and then the specific advice for what I'm doing, what tools I'm using, my thought process, and my success and failures. I'm not going to lie, I am nervous that this is going to totally fall flat on its face, but it's a great learning experience for all of us. So my reason for creating a new shop is obviously partly for research, but also I would like to make a little extra income. I don't want to have all of my Etsy eggs in the needle felting basket. I'm hoping for something a little more passive income so that I don't have to create something physically with every single new order that comes in. Because I'm very much aware with my needle felting made to order, I'm in a delicate situation that if I'm ill for a period of time, I won't be able to make any money. So a different shop that's more passive income mitigates the risk somewhat. And I've thought for a while that my digital items don't particularly fit in my needle felting shop. And I kind of feel these digital items is a really great subject for me to pick as a shop. Because what happens with so many people is you start some kind of craft and you fall in love with it really quickly. You're wanting to make a living out of it really quickly. You're wanting to sell things. I see so many people have been doing something for less than a year and they open their shop and they want to do great. And it's fantastic. They've got that level of a passion, but they don't have that skill set that other people have. And with the digital drawings, I'm there myself. I'm not great at them. So digital doodles, drawings, digital stamps is my plan for my new shop. So if you're looking to start your own shop, thinking of creating a second shop, or just want to come and laugh at me putting my money where my mouth is, embarking on a new project, then don't forget, hit subscribe. Check out the rest of this playlist for when the videos start coming up. Come back often. And also let me know in the comments below if you're thinking of another shop. What is it that you're thinking of making? Thank you so much. See you next time.